We even brought our superstar today, Karoline. Isn't she great? Is Karoline great? You know, when she goes on television, Fox, they dominate. They dominate when she gets up there with that beautiful face and those lips that don't stop, up, like a little machine gun.
Those words were spoken on a public stage into a microphone in front of cameras about a 28-year-old woman who works for him. Not a celebrity, not a public rival, his employee, his spokesperson, the person whose job is to stand behind a podium every morning and represent the United States government. And he described her lips. Which country are you watching this from right now? Drop it in the comments, because the clip that followed those words was shared in languages the White House doesn't have translators for.
I think we're going to see Trump do some of the craziest yet.
The comment didn't happen in a private room. It happened at a public event. Trump was introducing Leavitt to a crowd, and instead of describing her qualifications, her policy knowledge, or her professional credentials, he described her face, her appearance, the way her lips move. He called her mouth a little machine gun. The crowd cheered, and that cheering is what made the moment travel. Not the words alone, the cheering, the normalization, the room full of people applauding a president for publicly reducing his youngest senior staff member to the way her mouth looks on television. This is grounded in a real public speech, documented, broadcast, and replayed across every major outlet, told as narrative. Because some moments only reveal their full weight when you strip away the applause and listen to what was actually said. Jimmy Kimmel played the clip the next night. He didn't open with a joke. He didn't open with a smirk. He played Trump's words, unedited, full volume, and let them fill the studio. The audience laughed at first, the nervous, automatic laughter of people who expect a punchline after every clip. But Kimmel didn't deliver one. He let the clip end. He let the silence arrive. And he sat in it long enough for the laughter to fade and the discomfort to take its place. Then he said, "That is the President of the United States," describing a 28-year-old woman who works for him. On stage, on camera. For applause, the audience didn't respond. Not with laughter. Not with applause. Not with outrage. They went still. The kind of still that happens when a room full of people realize simultaneously that what they just heard isn't a joke. It is a workplace, Kimmel continued. He said, "Imagine any other job in America. Imagine a 78-year-old CEO standing on a stage at a company event and describing his 28-year-old spokesperson's lips as a little machine gun. Imagine the HR department. Imagine the lawsuit. Imagine the resignation letter. Now imagine the crowd cheering." The audience made a sound, not laughter, something lower, heavier, the sound of recognition settling into discomfort. If you are watching this and you want to see more moments where one clip changes the entire conversation, subscribe and hit that like button, because what Kimmel said next is the part that traveled furthest. He said, "The problem isn't that Trump said it. The problem is that nobody around him stopped him. Nobody on his staff, nobody on that stage, nobody in that crowd. The 28-year-old woman who was being described was standing right there. And the room applauded." He paused. Then he said, "When a leader says something inappropriate about an employee and the room cheers, instead of flinching, the room is the problem too." That line didn't get a standing ovation. It got silence. And the silence was louder. Kimmel didn't pile on. He didn't extend the bit. He moved to the next topic within 30 seconds, leaving the clip, the silence, and the question hanging in the air for the audience to carry home with them. Many observers noted that the moment illustrated something larger than one comment about one person. It illustrated the normalization curve, the process by which statements that would have ended a career 5 years ago now generate applause, retweets, and rally footage. The words didn't change, the threshold changed, and that shift from disqualifying to applause, worthy, happened so gradually that most people didn't notice until a comedian pressed pause and forced them to listen again. The next morning, the White House responded. Leavitt stood behind the podium and addressed the controversy. She didn't call the comment inappropriate. She didn't distance herself from it. She defended it. She said the president was being complimentary. She said the media was twisting his words. She said Jimmy Kimmel was fired for lying, a claim that was itself inaccurate, since Kimmel was back on the air. Trump posted separately. He called Kimmel a loser. He called Leavitt a star. He repeated the machine gun description, doubling down, as if repetition makes it less uncomfortable rather than more. And Kimmel said nothing. He didn't respond to the posts. He didn't address the White House statement. He had already said everything he needed to say the night before in a quiet studio with a clip and a question that nobody answered. Because the question wasn't complicated, it was the simplest question in professional life. Should a 78-year-old boss describe a 28-year-old employee's lips on a public stage? Every person watching knew the answer. The silence wasn't confusion. It was the sound of a country processing the distance between what it knows is wrong and what it has learned to applaud. Subscribe to the Narrative Brief and turn on notifications. He said it on camera. Kimmel just pressed play. We make sure the play button doesn't get buried.